been dreaming of a safari in Africa? Or perhaps you've already booked your safari. Planning your first safari can be a daunting task, and if you're watching this video, you've already covered the first of my top tips on safari: research and plan. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top tips for first-timers on safari. These tips will include pre-departure advice to help you prepare for your safari, as well as suggestions for getting the best out of your safari to make sure you go home with nothing but incredible memories. I am Kleyn, General Manager of C4 Photo Safaris. I've worked in the safari industry since 2008, with 6 years spent right here in the beautiful Mashatu Game Reserve. With many hours under my belt on safari, often accompanying first-time guests on safari, I've had many guests express how they wish they'd known these few tips I offer before they came on their first safari. If, like us, you love photography, conservation and travel, please subscribe to join our C4 Circle as we bring you top quality content from behind the scenes, photo tutorials, conservation stories and much more. Let's go on safari. Tip number 1, planning your safari. Africa is one of the only continents of planet Earth where it is not only recommended to book with a travel agent, but necessary. Think about your unique circumstances and look for an operator that will customize your safari for you. For example, we at C4 Photo Safaris specialize in photographic safaris and will help you plan a safari with the best wildlife photographic opportunities. Our sister company, Nurture Africa Safaris, focus specifically on multi-generational family safaris. It's important to research the company, get reviews of the company that you're considering to use. Check that they will customize your safari specifically for you. A good company will take care of every last detail, leaving you with nothing to do but enjoy safari. Remember, in Africa, many of the camps are very remote. Make sure the company has on-the-ground support who can assist with any problems that may arise, such as flight delays, lost luggage, or schedule changes. For this video, I'm referring to regular safaris. If you're a photographer and wondering if a photo safari is for you, keep an eye out for Danielle's video on the differences between a regular safari and a photo safari. Tip number 2, what to pack. When it comes to clothes, the trick to packing for safari is to bring neutral colors: khaki, browns, beige. The most effective is to have layers, as the temperature can rise and fall by about 20 degrees Celsius within one day. We'll be on an open vehicle, so a windbreaker or a down jacket is essential, as very early mornings and evenings can get cold. I've seen many a guest underestimate just how cold it can get on an open moving vehicle. And remember, if you're cold, it's difficult to relax. I also recommend packing 2 types of shoes, one comfy closed walking shoes and a pair of slip-on sandals for around camp and between activities. Obviously, a wide-brimmed hat with a drawstring to keep it on your head as the vehicle moves along, and sunblock. In addition to clothing, the first item on my list is a pair of binoculars. They make a huge difference on safari, and I would go so far as to say, have them on your essential list. Not just for the birds, but for scanning an area, getting a closer look at an animal, seeing the detail on a bird. No guide is ever without a pair of binoculars, and nor should you be. You'll want to take home memories, and a camera goes without saying. Bring along extra batteries and chargers. If you have a camera with detachable lenses, I highly recommend a zoom lens. My go-to lens on safari is a 100-500mm, which allows me to photograph large mammals close to the vehicle, as well as small birds, squirrels that are further away in trees. If you're not a photographer, consider buying or renting a bridge camera with a good focal length to make sure you can get closer to your subject. For a more detailed packing list, follow the link in the description below. Finally, we're on safari. Let's make sure you get the best experience while on safari. That brings me to tip number 3 while on safari: manage your expectations. I've heard countless people come back from a drive and describe it as quiet, simply because they have not seen one of the big 5 or a cat. There's no such thing as a quiet drive. Ask your driver to share his knowledge. Learning how to track a lion can be more thrilling than simply being able to see the lion or taken directly to it. Stop to watch birds, identify the local trees. It's often while looking at a bird in a tree that I've spotted a leopard. I count a sighting of a tug of war between a snake and a frog as one of the highlights of my career, despite having seen hundreds of leopards and lions. Tip 4. Disconnect to reconnect. One of the hardest things to do in today's world is to digitally disconnect. While most camps do have Wi-Fi, connectivity may be limited, and it's certainly not going to be what you're used to at home. Use this opportunity to restrict your digital time to just a few minutes a day, or even better, if you can switch off completely. It feels strange at first, but soon you'll feel a connection with nature taking over, one which is so rare in today's fast-paced world. And my last tip for while on safari: use all your senses. Familiarize yourself with the sounds of the bush. Wildlife has different ways of communicating, and taking the time to stop, listen, and recall the sounds adds so much depth to your safari experience. Whether it's the morning chorus of the birds as sun rises, baboons alarming others when a leopard appears, or the thrilling roar of a lion in the distance, every sound in the bush tells a story. At least one night while on safari, ask your guide to switch the vehicle off, sit for a few minutes. You'll be astonished by the magnitude of the Milky Way overhead while listening to the sounds of the nocturnal animals as they start their movement for the night. Following these last 3 tips while on safari, you can expect to have all your expectations exceeded. Despite the remoteness of many camps, they are unbelievably comfortable, safe, and offer incredible hospitality. The combination of wildlife, landscapes, beautiful people, sunsets, sunrises, scrumptious foods, and untouched wilderness will leave your life forever changed. If you would like to be part of the C4 Circle, where we bring you informative content focused on the 3 pillars of C4 Photo Safaris: conservation, travel, and photography, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell to make sure you don't miss when a new video goes up. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.